As diabetes educators, you know that diabetes management is a complex issue. It involves medication and monitoring, proper food selection, and self-management. And to make it even more complicated, it can be extremely emotional. While education is critical, the resources available to you don't always result in the desired lifestyle changes necessary to manage diabetes effectively. Conversation map tools can help change that by giving you a whole new way to facilitate patient understanding, enabling patients to turn information into action. You now have a powerful new learning approach at your fingertips. This conversation-based, peer-to-peer interaction connects with patients. You'll see them open up, share experiences, bond with the group, and realize that others share their challenges. There can be benefits after just one session, with an end result of better retention of information, which may help ultimately lead to better self-management.
The conversation map that is in front of you is designed to engage you in a meaningful conversation about your diabetes. It will require your participation, so I'll be asking you a lot of questions, and most of the talking today is going to be done by you. And I'll be listening and helping you out through your journey with diabetes. So Brian, what would you like to learn about today?
Well, one thing I'd like to know is if I'm sick and I'm getting a fever, is my blood glucose going to go up or is it going to go down?
How about you, Eric?
Well, I'd like to know how to make healthy choices. I can do it usually for 2 or 3 days, and then I end up traveling, or I just end up, stressing out and eat some candy or something, and I feel like I fall off the wagon. So I'd like to know how to stick with it.
We'll discuss this today for sure. How about you, Teresa?
I know I'm going to have to start giving myself insulin shots, and that just really scares me.
And we will address it as well. We'll talk about it a lot today. Take a look at this map and tell me what you see on this map.
Well, I noticed that it's a road, so it's portrayed more as a journey instead of a destination.
Definitely. Jesse, what do you see in your corner over there?
I see a lot of mixed emotions about how people feel about having diabetes, such as frustration and anger, guilt, and even hope.
Yeah, I see the same thing, yes. What else do you see?
I see a woman with some physical challenges. She's in a wheelchair. She's got some disabilities.
I can see that.
I also noticed this man here making some food choices, all these healthy choices. He's trying to decide what to eat.
Definitely. On the top you can see what you eat, how much you eat, and when you eat related to those choices. Can I have a volunteer to read the definition of diabetes out loud?
I will.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Diabetes is a disease in which the body does not make enough insulin or does not properly use insulin.
Does this definition make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes, this is the one that my doctor gave me last time at my office visit.
I'm passing out the activity cards to you. And the information on each card is a little bit different. And I'm going to be asking for a volunteer to read it out loud. And then as a group, we're going to decide if it brings your blood glucose up or down. So can I have a volunteer to read the card out loud?
Sure, I'll do it. Increased stress at work or at home.
What happens when you stress out?
Well, I know that my blood glucose goes up because I test it, so it's always higher when I'm stressed.
What about you, Jessie? What happens when you stress out at work?
Well, when I'm stressed at work, I would definitely say, in addition to my blood sugar going up, my blood pressure does as well, and I can definitely feel it.
Yeah, usually when I stress out at work, I reach out and grab something to eat, so I know that definitely makes the blood sugar go up.
Definitely. It's a common thing. Brian, do you stress out? And what happens to your blood glucose when you stress out?
Oh, I stress out quite a bit, especially lately. And I think it must be because my blood glucose is going up because I get all nervous and jittery, sort of like I'm having a sugar high.
Sure.
So I'm really frustrated and a little confused. There's a lot of information here, and I know my doctor tells me a lot of things, and then my family tells me something, and I'm just not really sure what to believe or what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes I just really get turned around.
I totally understand what you're saying. I felt like that in the beginning when I first found out I had diabetes, and I think the thing that helped me the most was I started keeping a food diary, and then I was checking my blood glucose before and after every meal, and that made me feel like I had more control of my diabetes.
Well, for me, the most important thing that I did that seems to have worked so far is I talked to my doctor about it, and we sat down and came up with a plan that he said will work pretty much specifically for me.
So Eric, I'm curious, why is it that you check your blood glucose after every meal?
Well, I want to be careful about what I eat, so I check my blood sugar to make sure that I haven't eaten too much and that I've also taken the right dose of insulin. I want to be right try and get into the range that my doctor wants me to be in.
So tell me, what are you going to do differently based on all of this information we have learned today?
I'm going to give up and finally talk to my doctor about starting on insulin.
That's a good plan. It's really good.
I know I'm looking forward to coming back next week and talking to you all again.
Yeah, we would like to see you. It's going to be nice. I think conversation map tools are the most engaging patient education tool available in the world currently.
When conversation map tool went to China, we have different ways to communicate with our patients. They involved in the teaching and learning process, and I think they learn more.
They are conversation-based. When you say conversation-based, we have 3 or 10 people gathered together into a conversation and trying to sort out sharing problems, sharing difficulties, and sharing even solutions to problems that they have encountered in relation to their diabetes.
During conversation map tool sessions, people learn from one another. While they are speaking about diabetes, they speak about themselves, about their experiences, and they tell stories to one another. And some stories are very touching. And I had once a young boy, 14 years old, who did come because I invited him. And afterwards, he came to see me, to thank me. And it was touching. He said to me, now I understand that I'm not abnormal. I have diabetes like other people have diabetes.
The patients open up easier. They open up easier, and you as a healthcare worker get a chance to understand your patients better.
That made my day, no, my week and my month.